Are you ready for life-changing advice from people who are at the top of their game? Today, I'm sharing some of the most powerful life advices I've learned from successful people. We're talking about real insights from people like Oprah Winfrey, Warren Buffett, and Mark Cuban, stuff that's transformed their lives and can do the same for you. So if you're curious about what makes the best of the best tick, stick around. By the end of this video, you'll know the secrets behind living below your means, investing early and consistently, and much more. It's all about getting advice from those who know a thing or two about success. Got your notepad? Great, because these are the 10 most powerful life advice from the world's most successful people. Hit that subscribe button and share your thoughts below. Now let's dive into it. First, let's talk about living below your means, something that Oprah Winfrey is a big advocate for. When people hear that, they often think it's about cutting back on everything and living a super restrictive life. But that's not really what it's about. It's more like being smart with your money, prioritizing what matters and not getting caught up in the whole keeping up with the Joneses thing. Here's the deal. It's easy to get tempted by flashy new gadgets, the latest fashion trends, or that shiny new car. But if you want to build a solid financial foundation, you've got to learn to say no to unnecessary expenses. This doesn't mean you can't enjoy life or treat yourself. It just means you should be mindful of your spending. One great tip is to create a budget. Sounds boring, I know. But a budget is just a plan for your money, like a map to get you where you want to go. You jot down your income, your fixed expenses, like rent and utilities, and then allocate a portion for savings and other essentials. The key is to stick to it. Another hack is tracking your expenses. You'd be surprised how quickly small purchases add up. You buy a coffee here, a snack there, and before you know it, you've spent a small fortune. Keeping track helps you see where your money is going and lets you make adjustments. Finally, consider exploring cheaper alternatives for everyday purchases. You don't always need brand names or the latest model. Sometimes the off-brand or the previous year's version is just as good, and you save a ton. So yeah, living below your means is really about making smart choices that set you up for long-term success. It's like building a strong base so that when you do decide to splurge, it's on something that truly brings value to your life. Next on our list is investing early and consistently, a key piece of advice from Warren Buffett. You know, the man who basically made billions by letting his money grow over time. It's not magic, though. It's compound interest. It's like when you roll a snowball down a hill and it gets bigger and bigger the further it goes. That's compound interest, and it's a real game changer. Here's the thing. When you invest early, you give your money more time to grow. Even if you're starting with just a little bit, those small contributions add up. Think about it. If you start investing in your 20s, you'll have decades for that compound interest to work its magic. By the time you hit retirement, you could be sitting on a pretty sweet nest egg. Now, the key is to invest consistently. You don't have to be a stock market whiz to do this. There are tons of ways to invest without needing a Wall Street degree. You've got IRAs, 401ks, index funds, and even robo-advisors that do the heavy lifting for you. It's like putting your money on autopilot. It just keeps growing. The best part? You can start with just a few bucks a month. It's not about getting rich quick, it's about building wealth over time. So if you're thinking, investing seems risky, remember that the real risk is doing nothing at all. Inflation will eat away at your cash if it just sits under the mattress. All right, let's talk about something exciting, multiple income streams, inspired by none other than Mark Cuban. Now, you might be wondering, what's all the fuss about? Well, picture this. Instead of relying on just one source of income, like your day job, imagine having multiple streams flowing into your bank account. Cool, right? So, how does it work? Think about your talents, skills, and passions. Maybe you're great at photography, love baking, or have a knack for graphic design. These could all be potential income streams waiting to be tapped into. And the best part? You get to do what you love while making some extra cash on the side. But hold on, we're not done yet. Mark Cuban also talks about the importance of reducing risk. How? By spreading your income across different avenues. It's like diversifying your investment portfolio, but with your earnings. So even if one stream dries up, you've got others keeping you afloat. Now, I know what you're thinking. But where do I start? Well, it's all about exploring your options. From starting a side hustle to earning royalties, or even investing in rental properties, the possibilities are endless. So why not dip your toes into different ponds and see which one yields the most fish? And here's the kicker. With each new income stream, you're not just earning money, you're building a safety net for yourself. By the way, if you're enjoying the video so far and want more topics like this, comment the word "more" so I know. Let's talk about a simple but life-changing concept. Pay yourself first. This might sound like one of those cryptic pieces of advice from successful people, but once you get it, it can make all the difference in your financial journey. Here's the idea. Every time you get paid, before you start spending on bills, groceries, or anything else, set aside a chunk of that money for yourself. Think of it as putting aside a slice of the pie before you even start cutting it. This way, you're prioritizing your future over immediate wants. Napoleon Hill, the legendary author of Think and Grow Rich, made this practice one of his most powerful life advice. He understood that if you don't make saving a habit, it's all too easy to spend everything you earn. And when you save first, you build a safety net that protects you when unexpected expenses pop up. No more scrambling to find cash when the car breaks down or you have a surprise medical bill. The beauty of paying yourself first is that it doesn't have to be a huge amount. Even setting aside a small percentage of your paycheck can add up over time. You can start with as little as 5% or 10%, then gradually increase it as you go. It's a simple habit that can lead to massive results in the long run. And the best part, it doesn't require fancy apps or complex calculations. Just set up an automatic transfer to a separate savings account and let it grow. By prioritizing your savings, you're following the same footsteps as some of the most successful people who embrace this advice to secure their financial future. Let's talk about negotiating. You might be thinking of fancy boardrooms with people in suits, but here's the thing, negotiation happens everywhere. From getting a better deal on a car to discussing your salary, it's a skill that can make a huge difference in your life. Take Shakira, for example. She's not just an incredible singer and performer, she's a master at negotiating. Whether it's her music contracts, endorsements, or business ventures, she knows how to advocate for herself and get the best possible terms. The secret? Preparation and confidence. Here's the deal. When you're negotiating, knowledge is power. Do your homework. If you're negotiating your salary, know the industry standards. If you're trying to get a discount on a purchase, research the typical prices. This way, you walk into the conversation with facts on your side. But it's not just about the numbers. It's about the art of conversation. Approach negotiation with a win-win mindset. You're not trying to bulldoze the other person. You're looking for a solution that works for both of you. So listen. Understand what the other side wants, and find common ground. And don't forget to practice. Negotiating can be nerve-wracking, but the more you do it, the better you'll get. Try role-playing with a friend or colleague and get comfortable asking for what you want. The worst that can happen is someone says no. But when you negotiate with confidence and respect, you'd be surprised how often people say yes. So now, let's talk about time management. Have you ever had those days where you feel like you're juggling a million things at once? Like you've got a to-do list that's a mile long and you don't even know where to start? Don't worry, we've all been there. But here's a secret weapon that might help. It's called the Eisenhower Matrix, and it was created by none other than former President Dwight D. Eisenhower. Now, this matrix is super simple, but incredibly powerful. Picture a square divided into 4 smaller squares, kind of like a big, flat cross. Each of those squares has a different focus. The top left square is for tasks that are urgent and important. These are things that you need to do right now. No excuses. Like, if you don't do them, everything else falls apart. Next, the top right square is for tasks that are important but not urgent. These are things that matter a lot, but they can wait a little. You know, like working on that big project that's due in a couple of weeks or planning for your future. It's important, but you don't have to drop everything to do it right this second. The bottom left square is for urgent but not important tasks. These are the things that pop up out of nowhere and can mess with your schedule, like emails or phone calls that you have to deal with but aren't really a big deal in the grand scheme of things. You can handle them, but don't let them take over your day. Finally, the bottom right square is for tasks that are neither urgent nor important. This is basically where distractions go to die. Think social media, binge, watching TV, or just mindlessly browsing the internet. You can pretty much avoid these tasks without any consequences. The key to using the Eisenhower matrix is to focus on the top two squares and minimize the time you spend on the bottom two. By doing that, you can take control of your time and get more done without feeling overwhelmed. Let's talk about time blocking, a productivity technique that's gaining popularity, especially among people like Elon Musk. You've probably heard of him, right? He's the guy behind Tesla, SpaceX, and a bunch of other cool stuff. You'd think a guy like him would be swamped with meetings, emails, and everything else that comes with running multiple companies. But the secret to his success? Time blocking. Time blocking is simple but powerful. Instead of having a to-do list that goes on forever, you create blocks of time on your calendar for specific tasks. Think of it like building a schedule with designated time slots for everything important in your day. It helps you stay focused because you're not constantly switching between tasks or getting distracted by random stuff. And let me share a story that shows how effective this can be. Gary Vaynerchuk, the entrepreneur and marketing guru, uses time blocking to manage his day. He runs VaynerMedia, hosts podcasts, and writes books, all at the same time. How does he do it? He sets aside specific hours for different activities. He might block out a couple of hours in the morning for meetings, then an hour for content creation, and maybe an afternoon slot for interviews. It keeps him on track and helps him accomplish a ton without feeling overwhelmed. The beauty of time blocking is that you can tailor it to your life. If you're a morning person, schedule your most important tasks then. If you're more productive in the evening, block that time for deep work. The key is to find what works for you and stick to it. This technique can be a game changer for productivity, and it's definitely worth trying. Have you ever noticed how exhausting it is to bounce between tasks? 1 minute you're responding to emails, then you're back on the phone, and suddenly you're supposed to focus on a big project. It's like playing a crazy game of ping pong in your head. This is where Bill Gates comes in with some of the most powerful advice. Batch similar tasks. The idea is simple. Instead of switching back and forth, group similar things together. Let's say you have a bunch of emails to send. Instead of doing them throughout the day, set aside a specific time, maybe 30 minutes, to knock them all out at once. The same goes for phone calls. Pick a time slot, get all your calls done, and then move on. You'd be surprised how much time and mental energy you save by doing this. Think of it like cooking. If you're making pasta, you don't start boiling water, then suddenly switch to chopping veggies, and then go back to stirring sauce. You do all the prep work first, then focus on the cooking, and everything comes together smoothly. The same applies to your workday. By batching tasks, you stay focused and get more done without feeling like you're running in circles. All right, let's talk about one of the smartest things you can do to save time and keep your sanity: delegating and outsourcing. And who better to learn this from than Sir Richard Branson? He's built the Virgin Group into a massive empire, and guess what? He didn't do it alone. The man knows how to spread the workload so he can focus on the big picture. Here's the deal: delegation isn't about dumping your work onto someone else. It's about playing to everyone's strengths. Think about the tasks you do every day. Are there some things that someone else could handle just as well, if not better? That's your cue to delegate. Whether it's hiring a virtual assistant for admin tasks, bringing in a freelancer for specific projects, or simply asking a colleague to take on part of a shared workload, you're freeing up time to concentrate on what you're best at. Outsourcing goes hand in hand with delegation. It's like tapping into a whole new world of skills without having to hire full-time staff. Need a graphic designer? Outsource it. Need someone to manage your social media? Outsource it. With platforms like Upwork, Fiverr, or Freelancer, you can find the right people for the job, often at a fraction of the cost of hiring in-house. So here's the key: find what you can offload, find someone who does it better than you, and let them run with it. This way, you get to focus on the stuff that only you can do, like steering the ship and coming up with the new ideas. It's like having a team of experts at your disposal, and who doesn't want that? Let's take a moment to talk about something Oprah Winfrey holds close to her heart: scheduling personal time. Now you might think, but isn't success all about working hard 24/7? Well, here's the thing. Even the busiest bees need to take a break sometimes. Imagine your life is like a big old pie, and each slice represents a different aspect: work, family, hobbies, you name it. Now, if you keep slicing away without replenishing, eventually there won't be much pie left to enjoy, right? That's where scheduling personal time comes in. Think of it as hitting the pause button on life's hectic soundtrack. Whether it's chilling with a good book, catching up with friends, or simply kicking back and doing nothing at all, personal time is like a reset button for your soul. And here's the beauty of it. Scheduling personal time isn't just a luxury reserved for the rich and famous. Nope, it's something everyone can and should do. Because let's face it, we all need a little time to recharge our batteries and keep those creative juices flowing. So next time you're penciling in your to-do list, don't forget to carve out some quality time just for you. Trust me, your future self will thank you for it. Here's a little bonus tip from productivity expert David Allen, the 2-minute rule. It's simple. If you can do a task in less than 2 minutes, just get it done. This rule is a lifesaver when it comes to keeping your to-do list from spiraling out of control. Think about all the small tasks that pile up: returning a phone call, replying to a quick email, or even tidying up your desk. Instead of letting them stack up and turn into stress, you handle them right away. This way, you're not carrying around a mental checklist of tiny things. It's like clearing out clutter from your day, giving you more mental space for the bigger projects. So next time you find yourself with a 2-minute task, don't put it off, just do it. You'll be amazed at how much lighter you feel. And there you have it, guys. The 10 most powerful life advice from successful people. We hope you found these tips insightful and inspiring. Remember, success leaves clues, so why not follow in the footsteps of those who have already paved the way? Now, if you found this video helpful, I highly recommend watching my next video, which is the perfect complement to this one. Thank you for joining us today. And don't forget, like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your engagement is like applause for our efforts, and it motivates us to bring even more valuable content your way. So feel free to drop a comment below. I appreciate your support, and I'll see you in my next video.